What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, and we are at Perfecto's place today. Flux, yes, I am still in Los Angeles. Oh, sorry, the camera's here. I'm looking at the TV that we can. Yeah. So it's gonna be a little bit different, a little bit weird. We're using all like really interesting stuff to stream with. No, like legitimately, because it's so different than what we normally do. Like normally we're using in-ear monitors. And I'm really curious how this works because we've like tried to figure out how to mobile stream, and like we have crashed and burned every mobile stream except one so far. And like you have all of these. I always tell everybody that you're like the king of like cool gadgets when it comes to like I'm like filming and media, like the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 that you told me about last year at this time. Is
everybody's using it.
It is the reason that all of the guitar store videos and stuff like that I do now, it's the reason that they don't suck. Like, so thank you for that. So, well, yeah, cheers. We have ginger beer tonight.
And real beer comes after the stream.
That's right. Kim, greetings from Greenland. Oh, wow.
Greenland, oh, wow.
That's awesome. And
it's a night, Robert. It's an SD2. It's a dual overdrive.
What's that?
It's a.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, Mr. Baker? Yeah.
Speaking of the Osmo Pocket, we're actually using my Osmo Pocket to stream.
Yes. So
and with
the DJI mics, which I also have these, and like we take like when we use our mobile rig right now, it's literally a Focusrite Scarlett, like the 18i20, I think it is, along with two Sennheiser lav mics, like, and then we have they're just Behringer, like these little headphone amplifier things that we can use for ears, and like this is 1,000 times better, and like apart from the interface, this would all fit like in the DJI like little mobile bag thing. So
yep.
Yeah, so I got to figure out how to fix that.
We'll work it out.
Flux says, Perfecto, turn up your mic a little.
Turn up my mic.
Is there a volume thing in the... Oh, it says no mic on you. Is your mic on?
It's on.
Yeah? Hey. You lost the magnet? Perfecto reminded me of the thing I love the most about Mastery Crimes. Yeah. What's up, Ronnie? Jeremy, you're very welcome. Sorry it took so long. I saw that you just got it, and I saw one of the emails that said that the tracking was showing it going to Los Angeles. So, yeah, sorry that I don't know what ended up being the issue. I have been weird. I have been gone from Canada for 3 weeks now, Luke.
Yeah, we're going on 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, it would be 3 weeks today that we left, right?
You hear Derek, right?
Yeah, you guys hear me okay? Okay, well, can you hear it? Is there anything on you now or no? Does it matter that your light's blue and mine's green?
Oh yeah.
My light's green. Yeah, there you go.
On mute. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
How's that, everybody? What's up, Jehoshaphat?
Now it works.
Josephat was at James Tyler. He's one of their main guys that we were over there today and saw. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So do us a favor and smash the like button because apparently the algorithm likes that. And also we haven't done a live stream now for like a real one for like 3 or 4 weeks. 3 weeks.
Is this a short one
at NAMM?
At NAMM with the phone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of sucked. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about NAMM. How many of you guys were? I know Flux was there. Anybody else on the stream here? I know Josephat was there. Anybody else make it over to NAMM? You still don't have sound?
Still no sound. What? It's green now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's delayed.
Thanks for wearing socks. You're welcome. I'm wearing smoking hot barbecue socks that my family got me for Christmas. NAMM was awesome. Yeah, how do we go through this? Because we were talking about this a little bit before. So my NAMM experience is so unbelievably different than anyone else's. And Luke is here for everybody who can't see him. He is at the helm. So so maybe we'll even pass the mic. If your mic's not working, we'll just pass it around and see what happens.
Yeah.
And we can kind of each talk a little bit about our NAMM experience.
Yeah, I have something for that. A lot.
Oh yeah? Okay, awesome. Lights in the windows. You were at NAMM? I don't know. Sorry, I'm bad with nicknames. I mean, I know who Flux is. I don't know who anybody else, or not anybody else, but a lot of people. I don't know if you have a weird nickname. All right. Oh, there we go. Sweet. So, here we go. So what is this?
It's
a brush.
Yeah, it's a guitar detailing brush. Music Nomad.
Also, just as a note, this Shabbat is awesome. Like, I haven't played very many of these. Actually, only yours.
Yeah.
Like, ones that you've had around. As so I break it on the chair. It was nice. Now, it's not as much. Yeah, my NAMM experience is so drastically different than everybody else's here. So maybe we'll all kind of talk about our different experiences. So coming into the show, my meeting schedule, I had there's 3 days for the show this year, which sucks. I wish it was still 4 days, the way it should be, because they make us pay for 4 days, which it's a ton of money, so much money. And then we got gypped on a day. But the show opens 10 a.m. Normally my meetings start at 10 or 11 a.m. and then show closes at 6. So they run right through till, every half hour, different meeting with somebody else. This year, all my days started at either 8:30 or 9 a.m., where we literally got spare red badges and snuck people in to be able to get our meetings in with them. Every day of the show, I'd send Luke to the front to go get whoever it was with a red badge so that they could get in. And we still, when we were getting to the show, I think I had an hour and a half worth of slots open on the first day, an hour or an hour and a half the second day, and then 3 hours the last day. And in the end, I ended up with less than half an hour per day, except the last day I had 1 hour towards the end that I could go do some stuff. So I got to see very little. Like, I didn't make it out of Hall D where we were at all. So I did get to see some cool things, but yeah. Oh, awesome, Devin. Glad you had help had help. Glad you had fun at the show. Yeah, I felt like the energy at the show when I wasn't in meetings was really great.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Everybody was excited. Everybody's excited to see new stuff, and then of course it's like for some people it's the only time of the year they get to see each other because everybody's in one place.
Yeah.
You know?
I always call it guitar player summer camp is what I say NAMM is for me, because it's a time where I get to see, you know, I mean, any of you guys from Gear and Beer that get to come to the show or get into the show, I get to meet most of you at least for like sometimes 10 seconds, but at least I get to meet some of those people. I get to see every one of our dealer partners, almost all of our like friends that we've worked with. You know, you and I are different because we will actually, you're here, so I'll make time to be like, okay, after the show, you know, we can get together, and we are going for dinner as soon as this is done. So yes, so it won't be a long live stream today, just so everybody knows. But yeah, you know, it's just the best. It's my favorite thing of like the events that we do every year. And yeah, I wish it was longer, and I wish I got to be able to go see more things for sure.
Yeah, usually like I get to see everything on the last day, previous years, like Sundays, because it's not there's more of a lull.
Yes.
Or actually, you get to see more stuff in the morning if you didn't go party the night before.
Yeah. Well, I used to use the like 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. time in the morning. Like we always get there by 9. I used to use the 9 to 10 a.m. to go and check out other booths and talk to other vendors that are there. Like, because there's lots of companies that, you know, like Dave Friedman is a friend of mine. And like, that's when I get to see Dave.
Yeah.
Either then or at 6 o'clock. But with them cutting a day off, that also meant that everybody coming in from international, you know, dealers or distributors, that means that they were all going home a day early. So the time to be able to like go for dinner with people and have any of that time, like that was all gone too. So, you know, like it essentially made it so, you know, hanging out and chatting with, you know, Friedman or anybody else that we're friends with, you just kind of cut back on so much of it.
Yep. Actually, speaking of the other dealers and brands heading home early, I feel for the Chinese brands this year because it's right in the middle of Chinese New Year, and pretty much every Chinese brand there packed up at starting 2 to 3 p.m. Saturday, because all their flights were like 10, 11 p.m. that night. So it's like, oh
yeah, because they had to get out and get
get the most out of their vacation, because it's like they work so hard, but then they get 2 weeks off every tail end of January.
Yep. Yeah. So I got to see some cool things. Yeah, Devin, like you nailed it. The Jose Arredondo amp that Dave did, it's unbelievably great. I mean, I'm a huge Friedman fan, so you know, I knew I would like whatever Dave, like I like the Plex, like I mean, I knew I would like it, but I will say I went early, like before the show opened. I had said like, okay, on the Saturday, I was like, I'm gonna go try the new Marshalls. I'm gonna go try the Jose, and I think I said like, I'm leaving our rental house at 7:30 in the morning, and I'm getting to the show by 8 so that I can check out some of the stuff before my meetings start at 9. And first up was I went to Marshall and I tried the new JMP mod, like the mod series, the JMP and the 800, and yeah, very, very good sounding amps, like really cool. I went straight from there to Friedman because it was kind of on the, like the boutique amp booth was kind of on the way back towards the Rev booth. And then I played the Jose, and I immediately was like, the mod Marshalls are cool, but this is the king of the modded Marshall thing. Like it just sounds so unbelievably good.
I didn't get to play it because like every time I swung by, it's just one of the most played amps in that booth, you know.
Oh yeah, it was busy, and I mean I saw it all over social media, and it was crazy. Like, and great for Dave and great for Friedman boutique amps, because yeah, it's a killer product, and Yeah. And like I said, the new Marshalls, like I want one of the new JMPs for sure. Like, yeah, the 800 and the JMP both sounded really awesome.
Did you try the 900?
No, they did make me play through. I'm not gonna lie. When I first got to the Marshall booth, I played one of the ones that was not in their isolation rooms, and they had the JMP set on top of a Marshall JCM 900 cabinet, and it sounded terrible.
Oh, really?
Like Dorian was with me, and Dorian is a huge Marshall guy, right? And we're sitting there, and I like look at him, and he's like giving me the like side eye of like, "Hey, Bob, this is not really that impressive." And then Fluff asked us like, "Do you want to go try it in this ISO room?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we go in the ISO room, and there's a different cab in it. And as soon as we plugged in, both Dorian and I were like, "Hell yeah! Like this is what we wanted. Like this is what it's supposed to be." So yeah, and then they brought in. So we tried the JMP first, and then he brought in the 800 right after it. And yeah, and yeah, it was really great. Really cool to see like the new Aristides Mike Stringer signature stuff. Like Aristides are some of our best friends at the show, and yeah, the new Stringer like offset Aristides was very cool. Yeah, Rob, you thought the 900 was an interesting choice.
I don't understand the 900 hate.
You don't?
I don't.
It's because it's not very good.
Okay.
Is that hard to understand, Perf?
No, because every touring artist, like here, I spoke with Scotty Hill of Skid Row. He uses a Kemper Live, right? So technically, he could have any amp profile he could tour with, right? And he says, yeah, I only play with two sounds. One is my dirty sound, and another one with dirty with delay. So for the ballad solos and all that.
Yep.
And I asked him what the amp model was, and it was a JCM 900.
Do you think he hasn't heard of the 800 before? Like, you think it's a problem that he's not aware that the JMP or the 800 exists?
Well, because he said, because it was funny too, because at some point in the interview, he said, "Yeah, I wish I could tour with a Bogner. I could tour with this and that," and I told him like, "Well, technically you could. You have a Kemper."
Yeah.
But so
proving my point.
but the he said, because when they were touring, and all the rentals would always be JCM 900s, and he just got used to pulling the sound out of it.
Yeah, I remember when you could buy a used JCM 900 for literally like $300 because no one was interested in it. Because honestly, I like to make fun of the 900 just because I think the 800 is significantly better. But the reality is they're all better than the JCM 2000 triple super lead, which the triple super lead is one of the shittiest tube amps I've ever played.
Okay.
It's terrible. And I would take the 900 over that, but not many. Yeah.
Not by much?
Not by much.
Well, there's two 900s, right? There's the dual gain, and then there's the clean and dirty channel. Okay. Okay, whatever.
Two wings on the same shit bird, bud. No. I love 800s, and I love JMPs and like plexi style amps. So yeah. I like Landon's here. I like him recognizing that yes, we're in America, but there's no shoes.
Asian household.
Yeah. You know what? I don't understand. Like America, if we're gonna fight over things, it shouldn't be tariffs. You know what it should be?
Yeah.
It should be about why do you wear your shoes in your house? Like,
yeah.
You've got carpet. Like I have friends who have carpet that wear shoes in their house, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're gonna have to clean it. Oh no, America, come on.
Yeah, straight from outside, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the only time I've ever had an American friend who wears their shoes in their house tell me to take the shoes off is if it rained outside. That's it.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, if you come to my house, as soon as you come inside, I'll have slippers there for you. You can wear if you need something on your feet. But yeah. That's really the point of tension between Canada and America right now. Is that it's actually a war over shoes in the house.
Yeah.
So But yeah, Rob Baker agrees with me. Worst Marshall ever. I think he's saying that about the triple super lead.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. No, because like when I was growing up in the Philippines, like JCM 900 was new.
Yep.
And I definitely like the 2-channel one, not the dual gain high, because there's high gain dual reverb, and there's one with a clean channel and a dirty channel.
So is there a 900 DSL? The same as there's the 2000 DSL and TSL?
I think the DSL and TSL came later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you could just get an 800 and get it modded, and it'd be really awesome.
Yeah.
Or you can be like me, and you can buy only CSA edition JCM 800s, which have different different fusing and a couple of other different things that they had to do to comply with Canadian safety standards.
Mhm.
And because of it, whatever they changed, they all sound like thicker and beefier. So they're kind of like a modded Marshall without being modded.
Okay.
Yeah.
And modded to fit regulation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And the way you can recognize them if they're from the 80s, they're the US versions have the rocker, like the plastic rocker switches, and all of the Canadian ones have metal toggles because the rockers weren't certified. Like they couldn't pass CSA certification, so they went to just the standard.
Because
switches.
So the reason why I lean more towards JCM 900 is because I played a JCM 800 from the same era, and it was clean. It's like you can never turn it up loud enough to get it to break up.
Yep.
So it's like, well, I get more gain. I get more gain with the 900.
I had a similar experience. Like it wasn't my first amp, but one of my first amps, like probably the second amp or third amp I owned as a kid. I got I think it was a 74 JMP combo, 74, 76, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I found I was just learning to play. So like it did not have enough distortion, not gain for me. And like I bought it for $350 in the 90s, and I ended up selling it for like $500 to somebody because I was like, man, like this thing sounds terrible. Like there's no distortion. And I think I ended up getting like a Marshall like Valve State 1x12 combo because it had more distortion. And I was like, yes, this is the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, the new Marshalls, badass. So I don't know when they come out or how much they cost or anything. Like,
yeah, I want to try those.
Yeah, that's the other weird thing about NAMM is like that people don't post prices on things for the most part. Like you'll see it on like, I saw the prices on the Hubers, and I was like, that guitar is $16,000. Like, okay, but a lot of stuff like we don't show prices on anything because we have people from all over the world, and we're like, well, the prices are going to change in your territory, so like why bother? So like with the Marshalls, I was like, I don't know if they're like $2,500 like they had come down to, or are they going back to $3,500 where they were? I have no idea.
Well, I think they're in the higher price range because all of those are hand wired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think Henning, do you see that video of Henning blowing up his modded plexi?
I try my hardest not to watch anything that Henning actually does. I see the thumbnail for it and I go, no, I didn't actually watch it yet. I saw that he said that he blew it up.
Okay, so he sent it to Mario of Tube Workshop to get fixed, and Mario managed to see the insides, and it's like proper hand wired, awesome. in the UK. So I would imagine they're expensive. Yeah.
Nice. Landon asks, Carl's Jr. or In-N-Out? Just tried both for the first time in LA. There's that's not even a question.
No.
Dude, Carl's Jr. is garbage. Like hot garbage. I was so pissed.
Hardee's.
Yeah, it's the same shit, different pile. I was so mad the first time I came to Los Angeles. Because we used to get commercials in Canada. I think probably on Fox, because the Simpsons were on Fox, and there'd be Carl's Jr. commercials, and they always had like really like hot models in it, which I did not care about one bit. What I cared about was as soon as they took a bite of this burger,
Like,
you heard this crunch
yeah.
and like ketchup or whatever
Yeah.
squirt out, and you're just like, that burger looks amazing. And I got here, and it's like the soggiest, like shitty burger you can imagine.
Yep.
But In-N-Out is great. But have you had Freddy's?
No.
Freddy's is actually, in my
What's that?
opinion, well, I don't know how many of them are around Southern California. Like we have them in Vegas. Like we've had them as we drove here. And my buddy Brent that plays drums with Slash I was raving about coming to In-N-Out when I came to California. He's like, don't go to In-N-Out. He's like, go to Freddy's. I'm like, what? Now?
Freddy's.
But Freddy's is really great.
Okay.
Also, Luke and I went. It is not inexpensive. But we went to Maddie's Patties last night in Newport Beach.
Okay.
And that's Maddie Matheson, who's
Oh yeah. The
chef.
the Vice guy.
Yeah. And he's got a burger place there, and man, it's smash burgers. The burgers were awesome.
Okay. Have you had the Habit?
Yes. Great. Yeah, I feel like it's like on par with In-N-Out. I mean, In-N-Out's fries are completely disgusting.
By Riverside.
Oh, okay.
Oh, at Freddy's?
Yeah.
Oh, Frederick's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
The fries at In-N-Out are just horrible.
Yeah.
They taste like cardboard.
Animal style doesn't save them.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's better.
It's better, but I had it like a few days ago.
You probably don't eat fries anymore, do you?
No.
So
no. I like In-N-Out fries over McDonald's fries.
whoa, why? What?
It just feels more organic with the peels on them.
We need to
Wrap it up.
That's also the reason why I don't eat fries anymore.
Brandon says In-N-Out sucks balls. Whataburger. Okay. All right.
Whataburger.
Okay. I've had Whataburger where it was amazing. I've had Whataburger 4 or 5 more times since it was amazing, where it was on par with Carl's Jr. Like, so it can be great.
Yeah.
But In-N-Out's consistency on burgers, I mean,
from branch to branch, right?
It just anywhere, like here, Texas, wherever.
I have a Whataburger hack.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Because I was in line at the Whataburger in Dallas, Fort Worth Airport, and the guy behind me, like, I guess I'm assuming he's local. Like,
Yep.
Yeah. So what are you getting? Oh, just get a Whataburger right over. No, get the patty melt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he said the patty melt is the one to get at Whataburger.
All right. So if we go to the Dallas Guitar Show, then we'll try that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. If we go to the Dallas Guitar Show, we're gonna spend every night. No, we're gonna spend every night at Heart 8. Yeah.
No,
Hey, Rob Baker, Heart 8,
Heart 8.
Dallas Heart 8. Come on,
So
Culver's. Yeah, Culver's.
It's pretty good.
It's
I'm surprised nobody's asking about Five Guys.
Baker just put it up there.
Oh,
It's good.
I hate.
You hate it? I hate how
don't like
expensive it is.
But on top of being expensive, it's just not good.
Yeah, it's just average, and it's like crazy expensive.
Mhm.
Like at home, where our money is worth nothing, Five Guys is like isn't it like $20 just for the burger pretty much now?
Yeah.
Well, it's all the free peanuts. You can.
Yeah, exactly.
You're paying for the free peanuts.
Fill up on free peanuts. So
Yeah.
you can,
And toss the shells on the floor.
yeah. Yeah.
It's at the $20 is like a $10 cleaning bill.
Yeah. And they'll give you like half of this room full of fries if you order fries.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, we want you to feel like you got your money's worth of cheap potatoes.
Have you had like a hot pastrami sandwich? Yeah.
I had one yesterday.
Where?
Actually,
What?
Sherman's Deli in Palm Springs.
Okay.
Like proper New York deli, like a sandwich that you cannot take an actual bite of because it won't fit in your mouth.
Okay.
Awesome.
But it's not New York style pastrami. It's cold, right? It's
hot, but it's
hot.
yeah.
Because there's a really good pastrami place here. It's like an old Southern California favorite. It's called The Hat.
Okay.
If we weren't having
Yeah, we're going.
if we weren't having barbecue tonight, I would have taken you there.
Yeah.
You can go for dessert.
But speaking of fries, because they
Rob Baker. So wait a minute. Perf likes In-N-Out fries, JCM 900s, and doesn't like Five Guys. I've seen enough.
oh no,
I know. What are we gonna do if you come to Nashville? Rob's gonna be like, he's just.
he'll need to school me properly.
Oh yeah.
On the good stuff, Rob.
Yeah.
I'll hold you to it.
Rob doesn't know the good stuff. No, you know what? The other one, actually, talking about burgers, since this is about burgers, Shake Shack.
Oh,
Okay, so it's like East Coast versus West Coast.
Well, I didn't know that's the thing. I just
Then
New
you
York smash burger.
because, yeah, it's okay.
I put it over In-N-Out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe I should have Shake Shack there, not the Shake Shack here.
Well, so I had a really bad experience with Shake Shack in Salt Lake City, Utah last year on the way home.
Okay.
Like to the point that I was like, I don't think I got food poisoning, but I might throw up. Like
Okay.
it's not good.
Okay.
But I've had it a bunch of places and it's pretty good.
Okay.
Including wait.
Because there's one in Hollywood, and it was like, it's okay.
No, I wasn't with you. I was like, didn't I have Shake Shack with you in Europe? But no.
No.
No. No, yeah, I was with
No,
for
we had-
Pizza Yeah.
We had gyro.
Yes.
We had
Yes.
Doner.
Yeah, Donairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we walked to that place.
It's so
Like
good.
like the place that it's like late at night. It's still open at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're walking to our hotel. We're like, we had already eaten, and we were both like,
Yeah. I need more protein.
oh, Jeremy Baker. All right, buddy. You're pretty close to right, to be honest. Dino's in Nashville is awesome. It is a shitty dive bar that is open till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
That does a great smash burger, like kind
Okay.
of burger. That being said, you're in Nashville and Joyland is in Nashville. I think Joyland beats everything in Nashville. So, yeah.
I gotta get to Nashville
Yes.
and try stuff out.
Oh, the food in Nashville is awesome. I mean, the food here is great too, but the
Yeah.
food in Nashville is awesome.
Okay.
Have you been to Bloodso's here?
Bloodso's, no.
The barbecue place?
No.
So good.
Where's
You'll
that?
like that place. It's in Los Angeles. All of this area to me though is Los Angeles. Like I left Los Angeles when I went to Palm Springs, but Anaheim is essentially Los Angeles to me.
No, I
So-
get it. I get
Isn't
it.
it by Rodeo, kind of? Like Beverly Hills?
It's in Hollywood area, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't frequent Hollywood,
Yeah.
not unless I have to.
It's worth checking out. Like it's not the same as Hard Eight, but like it's a barbecue like buy your meat by the pound kind of thing.
Okay.
It'll be up your alley.
Okay.
It's good stuff too.
Okay. Yeah, there's a barbecue place down the street here in Covina called Domestic.
Yep.
It's also like pretty good. I took Thomas Blue there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rob Baker just made another comment
Nice.
that we gotta talk about. So
Okay. Which one was that?
Buffalo Wild Wings All-American Burger, the All-American Cheeseburger, is a smash burger at Buffalo Wild Wings. And honestly, it's really, really good. Like
Yeah.
stupidly good. And if we hadn't messed up about lunch today, Wednesdays are buy one, get one free burgers at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Ah.
So you can get 2 burgers for $12. And the fries are good. And the burger is honestly like I'd put it up there. It probably beats In-N-Out for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I told Rob about it. I was actually here, let me name drop. I was hanging out with Tremonti one night in Fargo. They played in Fargo, and he's like, it was the night before they played. And he's like, I'm gonna be hanging out at Buffalo Wild Wings if you want to come join me. And I was like, sure. So I went over to Buffalo Wild Wings. And like I'm thinking they're ordering wings, and Mark's eating this burger, and I'm like, that burger smells really good. Like and so the next day, I was like, I'm gonna go try that burger. I tried it. I was like, hot damn! I'm like, this thing is great. Like, yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah.
We'll try that. We'll try that.
Yes, Buffalo Wild Wings burger.
Okay.
It's a sleeper.
One What?
NAMM.
Yeah,
So hungry. We didn't eat.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh
yeah.
oh. To bring it back to NAMM burgers suck. So no,
Yeah.
I don't.
No food at NAMM is good.
Yeah, I pretty much. It's my fasting period when I go to NAMM.
So Luke's dad comes. It's the only thing that he does with us every year, like guaranteed. And his badge even says NAMM Mom.
Yeah.
Because he kind of takes care of, like, he makes breakfast for everybody. Like, we get an Airbnb. He makes breakfast in the morning. He makes lunches so he'll make like 15 sandwiches
Right.
and bring them to NAMM. He makes sure that, like, there's water, beer at the booth. Yeah, and then make sure that, like, okay, who's staying for supper, who's not. Make sure there's a plan for all of our guys. Because, yeah, the first few years we were like, oh, we'll just pay for everybody to eat, like, whatever you do. And like, people went and ate at the convention center. And after like 3 days out of 4, we were like, we're going to go broke if we're giving everybody, like, even a normal, like, $40 to $60 a day per diem.
Mhm.
There's no way you could eat
Oh yeah.
your meals
Yeah.
for that. So we were like, you know what? And, like, we would get, like, do you remember when they had, like, the orange chicken and, like, it's just all shit. Like,
Yeah.
it just all sucks.
Yeah.
So
And if you go to the front to all the food trucks are, you don't get back till like 2
Yes.
hours after.
yeah, there's good food there. Actually, Flux just mentioned the Mexican food truck had amazing burritos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you're gonna miss half the show.
yeah, like,
Just lining up for it.
I don't get a half hour to eat lunch at all.
No.
And the walk to the
Oh yeah.
trucks would take me 10 minutes.
Yep.
And then 20 minutes to wait for your food at least. And then, yeah,
No.
it's not worth it.
Yeah. So
So
I get the hotel breakfast.
Yep.
And then do NAMM all day, and then get dinner.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, my brother brings sandwiches. Everybody gets, like, he'll make enough that, like, if you want 2 sandwiches, you can have 2 sandwiches, like, and then we'll buy, like, the Costco box of, like, little bags of chips and be
Right.
like, whatever else you want to snack on during the day.
Yeah.
And then pop and water and beer at
Yeah.
the booth. So,
Oh,
yeah.
$45 pizza. Oh,
Yeah.
Landon's a baller.
Yeah. Man.
Dang.
Yeah, there's lots of great food in Anaheim though. My favorite ramen place anywhere is in Anaheim.
Really?
Budokan Ramen in Anaheim is my favorite ramen I've had anywhere in the world. I haven't been to Asia, so
Yeah, okay.
but I've been to Australia.
Have you had Daikokuya?
No.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
because that's OG LA ramen.
Okay. I've had, like, crazy kind of like actual, like, Japanese ramen in New York City where, like, you literally end up sitting in, like, there's like it's almost like an old phone booth where, like,
Ichiran.
I don't remember what it's called, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like a single stall,
Yeah.
and then they just open the window and bring you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even that, I would say the Budokan, like,
Okay.
ramen here was better than that. And I had mostly ramen when I was in Sydney in Australia, which
Okay.
is, I mean, there's so many Asians in Australia that, like,
The when I went to Performance Guitar, they're run by Japanese
Mhm.
guitar techs, and one of the guys said that I'll never eat ramen outside of Japan.
really?
Yeah, because for one thing, like a bowl of ramen here is like $15 to $20.
Yes.
Right? Japan, $5.
Yeah.
And it's the best ramen you'll ever have.
Yeah.
But then you have to factor in your plane ticket to Japan.
I was gonna say $1,200 for a plane ticket in the back of the plane.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah, I haven't been to Japan yet, and, like, our Japanese distributor has invited me, like, at least half a dozen times.
Okay.
But I just, to find the time to fly over there for me is near impossible. Like, it's one day, but not
Yeah.
not yet. Yeah.
It's fun.
I've thought about going to Music China this coming, like, in 2025, but we'll see. It's so close to Guitar Summit that, like,
Yeah, it'll only make sense if you fly to China from Guitar Summit.
yeah, and that's a lot of time to be away from home. So, and I don't really want to fly my wife and 4 kids to Europe and then to China.
Yeah.
So Rev's not quite rolling in the kind of dough that you can fly a family of 6
Yeah.
around the world following you. So
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
yeah.
There. Oops. Oh, that's a D tuna question.
Yeah,
I don't have a D tuna.
I do. On I played, my main guitar was a PV Wolfgang for over 10 years. And yeah, uh, I always found that it does, I mean, I had the original one, right? Like I got my guitar in 98.
Mhm.
So I found that it would go out quite a bit. So I'd constantly be adjusting it with the little set screw thing. And I got to the point where I was like, I left the other 4 strings locked and the 2 lowest. I would have that unlocked and I would just adjust if I needed to.
Yeah. Well, all my Floyds are floating, so it doesn't really make sense for me to
Yeah.
put a D tuna on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Music China's crazy is what Rob says. I
Ah.
remember him talking to me about it because he was there with were you there with Vola or you were there with Joyo or somebody? I can't remember who he went with, but he was definitely there with Greg from Vola Guitars and I don't know if Vola existed at the time, but I remember Rob complaining about anytime they went to eat anywhere, he didn't know what any of the food was that he was eating. And he's like, I just want a McDonald's. I remember him sending me a picture of him at a McDonald's trying to order a Big Mac in China or something. So funny.
It's well, just backtracking to Japan a little bit.
Yeah.
Japan has the best Denny's.
Really?
Like Denny's there is a proper restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's in the menu there's chef curated items too, like limited edition stuff. It's just I wish Denny's in America had took a page from the Denny's in Japan.
I'm so used to hotel breakfast now that I don't go to eat breakfast anywhere. I'll skip breakfast if I'm going somewhere and just wait till lunch.
Right.
That'll be my fasting meal if I'm going to.
Yeah.
Mostly out of oh shit.
Yeah,
I gotta get moving.
Yeah,
There's
but
no time.
If you ever get to Japan, Denny's is just to experience the stark contrast.
I'm sure everything in Japan is a stark contrast from Canada. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Joe,
G2 anniversary is the greatest distortion pedal of all time.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, yeah, I mean the G2 has been my favorite out of all of the G series pedals since it came out, and the anniversary edition is significantly better than the B1.
You know what surprised me about the anniversary edition pedals is the G4. You heard the low gain tones I got out of it.
Yeah,
because G3 would not do that. I had a gain at 0. It was still too heavy, But the G4, I was surprised. I could pull off the Neil Schon lights stuff. Like the overdriven Strat stuff.
I mean the Mark III, just the Mark III amp, the the Channel 4 went through the biggest transformation, and even on the Revision B, it got refined even a little more. So the difference between a Mark II red channel versus a Mark III red channel is night and day difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the pedal, it's Dan kind of continued the same thing because he modeled those all off of the Revision B 120 circuit. So
chef curated moons of nice.
Yeah. So I'm curious if anybody who's watching that's just tuned in, did any of you guys make it out to NAMM, and what were the cool things that you saw, and what, so you had a lot of meetings and stuff as well, but what were some of the cool things that you saw?
Okay, I played some of the Tube Workshop amps. So it's a builder out of Germany. He used to work for not Audio Technica, one of those hi-fi companies.
Okay.
And so he has the Lulis, which is the signature amp for the guitars for Accept.
Okay, yeah.
So which is
Yeah.
So it's a JCM, basically JCM 800 pushed by an SD1.
Okay.
So instead of a tube screamer, it's an SD1. So that's cool. But the amp I really like is his. It's patterned after an old French PA system for trains, like from the 40s.
Okay.
Yeah, and so and then he adapted it to a guitar with guitar tubes and guitar format. It's like a Fender Deluxe Reverb with chimier, like
Interesting.
yeah, Vox and Vox chime in a Fender Deluxe Reverb, and it's like really inspiring to play. Yeah, so that's one, and then what else did I see? Of course, the Anderson Wolfhound.
Yes.
Is good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
pretty much anything I picked up on the Anderson booth was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the new Shabbat 24 fretter.
Okay.
So he's finally going into late 80s, early 90s.
So he's getting closer to where you want him to be.
Yeah. So that was great. I put up a reel yesterday where it had a Gotto 510 2-point trem.
Yep.
And I grabbed it Steve Vai style and just whacked the shit out of it, and it was still in tune, non-locking.
Yep.
It's amazing how he does that.
My Schecter, like when I use the bar on it, it doesn't go out, and it's not a Godot 510. It's their bridge, but it's a Godot 510.
Yeah.
Like it's a direct copy of it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And what else did I see? That's pretty much it. I saw some stuff that I can't talk about.
Right. Yeah, we had some things at our booth that are coming out later on in the year that we can't talk about. Like we chose this year to delay showing things at NAMM that if they're not going to be in stores, because so many stores just get so upset when they start getting emails or calls about something. And so it was really interesting to see people's reactions that got to come into our booth and see what's coming.
Right.
So that was fun, but it did kind of feel like we're missing out on the hype train that everybody else is getting. Like you see the Jose amp like just blowing up, and you're just like, maybe we should have. But afterwards, I'm like, man, you can't get that Jose amp for like 3 to 4 months minimum,
even.
And I'm like, some of our stuff will be out before then, and it doesn't compete with that stuff. Like it's not even close to the same style of products that we'll have, but yeah, so like it was a little bit weird. And I mean, we obviously had the revision cabs, which was a really, really fun collab to do. And
perfect.
Yeah, it's funny, like I had like several influencers, like Henning was like, it's like, I need these for Studio C, and I'm like, I don't know what Studio C is. And he's like, you know the one? And I'm like, I haven't been in your house in like since before the pandemic, dude. Like, I don't know. I'm like, also, like, you want video screens that you're gonna put a camera in front of and film on? I'm like that often looks terrible, but okay. But yeah, that was a collaboration between us and Peter Dreymanis from July Talk, and like we have some big bands that are ordering like between 10 and 30 of them to go on stages, that you'll start to see them showing up on stages in the summer, I think.
Nice.
And and I just love the idea that like instead of us getting new banners made every year to put on top of the roof of our soundproof booth, that like we now can change whatever we want, and and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
So
also my rockstar dreams was crushed by your previous amp wall.
Yeah,
there's I'm gonna put it on my Instagram stories, but I was filming something in front of the old Rev amp wall, right? And then Luke's dad comes and excuse me a little bit.
Yeah.
Opens the cab and grabs a couple of shirts and some koozies. It's like,
yep.
That guy knows.
Yeah. Just no tact, eh? Just doesn't care. Just savage. Doesn't care. Yeah.
It's
moment.
I'm trying to think of other cool things that I saw at NAMM. I can't remember the name of it right now, but the new Kernohm modulation pedal was one of the few things that I like got time to actually play while I was there. That was just awesome. Like it goes through like every type of modulation that you would want, like from like phase, flange, vibe, chorus, like, and it all sweeps on a die. Like it's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. The ellipse. Okay.
Ellipse, okay.
I mean, their ridge pedal, like the white overdrive pedal thing that I have, is really cool. And I think it's the NoHo is the other one that I have that's like yellowy orange.
Mhm.
It's cool. I like the ridge more, but the new one is really really awesome.
Yeah. Need to check that out.
Yeah. Also, the new Eastman guitars that they lent us for our booth were really awesome, and they were like street price on one of them was like I think like $7.99. I mean, we'll see because
What's that? They have a new line?
yeah, and it's like kind of more entry level.
Okay.
I think the street was supposed to be $800, but they're Chinese built. So I don't know. I don't actually know if the tariffs, like I know the tariffs with Canada and Mexico were paused, but I didn't really see if the Chinese, like the 10% Chinese tariff was paused. So I'd also be interested for anybody in the comments if you see gear prices going up, because that's, I mean, I like last week, that's all of the commentary that I had from people, or I had like messages in through the website every day being like, "Is the price of everything going up? Is the price of everything going up?" And I'm like, I
Wait and
mean,
see.
I'm like, if depends how you want to look at it. Like, if we ship it to you and your government charges you 25% for it, the price went up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, thankfully that's hit pause for now. But yeah, I'm curious if any of the other stuff went up, because when we were at Schecter earlier today, they don't manufacture in China; they manufacture in Indonesia and South Korea. So they were like, we're fine for now. I'm like, okay. So
Yeah, but doesn't that include parts? Or is this the final country of manufacture?
well, it would depend, right? Like, so for us in Canada, with the way that the like USMCA works, and the way that your product qualifies, a certain percentage of it can be from like foreign countries, and then as long as the majority percentage is North American made, then it qualifies. So for like let's say Schecter building in South Korea, if their bridges were made in China and something else was, as long as the overall value of the guitar. Now, I don't know about US law with this. I just know about Canadian law, right? So as long as the overall value of the guitar, if this bridge was made in a tariff like zone, the bridge is such an inconsequential amount of the whole thing,
right,
that it just still gets considered made in Korea. It doesn't get considered, that this is Chinese, but this is made, which I feel really bad doing that to a guitar that's made here with a mastery trend being like, this cheap bridge for $10. Yeah, so that that gets weird, because if it's a low enough percentage of it, then it can still qualify. So my assumption would be that's the same for the States. So it doesn't matter where they pull their parts from. They'll say it's a product of South Korea or product of Indonesia. And a bunch of parts are coming from China. Because I actually had somebody recently tell me, and this is just hearsay or rumor, but somebody was saying that a lot of the Fender USA stuff, if it's not USA custom shop and master built, that like just the Corona facility stuff, that the bodies and necks are still CNC'd in Mexico and then assembled here.
Yeah.
So you're made in USA, like American standard. I mean, I know the American standard doesn't really exist anymore. It's the whatever
standard.
Whatever. It's got some other name. But that those guitars that that a lot of the stuff is pre-machine manufactured and either painted or finished elsewhere, and then brought here and then finished and assembled, and it still gets made in America, put on it. I'm not accusing Fender of that. I'm not saying that, but there is instances, and I do know of that. I won't out any of the companies doing it, but I do know of that in the electronics side, where there's a whole lot of what is going into a product that is being made in Asia. And then when it gets here, it gets a small amount of assembly and gets marked made in USA. So the laws, again, don't know the US laws around that. I know how it pertains to USMCA and what we have to do to comply with UMCA or USMCA.
So it's kind of like the the made in Japan versus crafted in Japan.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, a lot of companies were really great about it. Like I remember when I first saw the Seymour Duncan pedals, they said assembled in America.
Okay.
They didn't say made in America, and it's because they got their PCBs pre-populated completely,
right.
from to my knowledge, completely in China, and then they got a separate chassis,
Mhm.
also I think from Asia, but
they were
then
put together.
they are put them together here. So I mean, really, what you're after for the most part when it comes to electronics is going to be the quality assurance and testing that somebody is going to do at the tail end of it to make sure that it's working.
Yeah.
I mean, whether somebody does pick and place components with a pick and place machine in the US or Canada or does it in Asia, who cares? It's a machine doing the work.
Even for guitars, I think that's the most important step, the final one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you have start with a good set of plans, feed it into the CNC machine, spits out the parts. If the guy doesn't know how to set up a guitar properly, putting those together, I mean, if you can put it together like a puzzle,
Yep.
and ship it out, right? Or you can put it up properly and see that, oh, this needs to shim here, this angle needs to be corrected and all that, so the final bit of assembly is the most important part, I think.
Absolutely. Balaguer, I believe that's a big part of how they used to do a lot of their guitars. I don't know if it's the same thing. And I saw some Robbie commented about the Morella guitars, which is two ex-Balaguer employees that started that brand. I got to play the offset guitar that they had, and it felt great. Looked cool. I like the fact that it was its own body shape, like it's not just it was an offset, but it wasn't just a Jazzmaster.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what's the best way to word that. Trying to be careful that I don't say, you know what I mean? So there were a lot of companies that were getting stuff, getting pre-CNC'd bodies next, stuff like that they would design and spec, but they would get them milled overseas and then brought back. And actually, Prestige Guitars was a really great example of that, where they're actually a Canadian wood supplier.
Yeah.
And they would supply wood to Asia, and then they would have them mill bodies for them and necks, bring them back here, and then they would finish and assemble here. But they supplied the raw materials, just had the labor done there, and then brought it back. Yeah. So, I think when you're dealing with things that are, if machines are doing the work, it doesn't matter to me which continent the machines are doing the work on, right?
Yeah, it's
like quality-wise. Ethics is a different conversation that we're not going to have.
Yeah.
But like the quality of a CNC operating in China versus a CNC operating in Canada versus one in the US. I mean, as long as the operator has proper files, it's the...
I think 110 volts has more tone to it.
Okay, yeah. There you have it, folks. So we're better here.
It affects the rate. It affects the ratio and the rate of the drill bit cutting the or the pin router.
Yeah.
But to that end, it's like you've played the Sully conspiracy.
Yes.
So the reason why those guitars are really, really good, even though they're made overseas, is that Sully has them shipped over to his place, and he goes through each one personally.
Yeah. Well, and John's also gone over there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he goes over there every year, but like he goes over there. Dingwall is the same.
Yeah.
Like Dingwall, with their stuff that's made overseas, like they have somebody that goes over there to deal with them and to make sure that like standards are being followed, and that the people are trained properly. Not even just that, like it's not like they're all trying to cut corners, because the reality of doing business with anybody overseas is they're trying to get more and more of your business. So they do not want to make mistakes.
Right.
So
and then also it's just the skilled eye,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I can put together a set of parts, and then Sully will put it together a little more differently.
Yes.
It'll feel better.
Yep. I was blown away, like the Conspirator series trellas, that like the one that we gave away in the 12 days, and the one that he let us keep for now. Like
none of the guys in the shop that, like, if they didn't look at the back of the headstock and see that it said made at Worlds, none of them knew it wasn't a USA made guitar. They all thought for sure it was like master built, because it was like the quality on it is it's outstanding. And I do find that like there was a James Tyler prototype at our booth this year that was made in Indonesia. Like it was made in Asia. And like James Tyler's are $7,000 each, like 6-7 grand US.
They used to be made in Japan, or maybe it's still made in Japan.
They had some made in Japan, and they had some stuff made here. And then they also did like they did a weird like Line 6 collab because of Rich one time. But yeah, like I played their import James Tyler, and I was like, this feels as good as the USA Tylers. Except if you make these, they're how much? And they're like $1,800 instead of, but same thing, right? Like they'd have to get them in. Their master builders have to go through them all, fix anything that's wrong, and make sure that everything's good. But Assad, we all feel
Oh yeah, be on the lookout for a Swatch themed Concord, Sully Guitars Concord. It's just a shame.
It's bullshit is what it is. Number one, that there's thieves, but number two, like, do you know what happened?
Yeah, it was delivered the day before everybody arrived, and basically there's no security. So
yeah, but there's cameras, and there's like the problem is they have union workers, and I'm not bashing unions. I'm saying that they have union workers that are in there working all of the time, and then for some reason there's no accountability. Like we're supposed to be able to deliver our booth to, or like our crates or whatever, to our booth ahead of the show, and everything is supposed to be secure, and that's part of the like we've got union workers here, so everything is like top notch, right? So his stuff gets delivered. It's not like somebody walked out with the guitar during the show or just before the show. It's when there was nothing at the boutique guitar showcase. They dropped off his pallet of stuff, and somebody swiped the guitar,
and
like
Sully live streamed about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I guess somebody else got stuff stolen too. And they reviewed the security footage. And the camera in that area was facing the wall.
Yeah, so then it's an inside job then. Yeah. So talk to somebody from Freeman. And I said to Sully, and he, like, John doesn't strike me as the type of guy that's gonna fight, right? Like he doesn't strike me as the type of guy that's going to go kick up a fuss. Where I was like, fuck that. Like, if that were me, I would go straight to NAMM and be like, you are responsible for my goods, or Freeman is, or the convention center, responsible for my goods until I get there. If you sign for it, and it's there, it is your responsibility until I get there. And Assad, like there is obviously, like Perf just said, like no cameras facing there, but there are cameras all over the center. So there's no way that there's no way, like that it's impossible that they can't track it down or see where it moved somewhere in that facility. They just don't want to, because it's the same that I had one year I flew to Los Angeles, and I had my camera and my video camera. I'd stuffed them in my check bag, and just because I didn't want to carry as much weight in my carry-on at the time, and somebody went through my bags, stole both my cameras.
Oh shit.
I'll try to keep this story not terribly long, but stole both my cameras, and I said, like, well, look, I know they were in there in Winnipeg when I got on the plane. I'm like, so somewhere between Winnipeg and Los Angeles, somebody went through my bags, and I'm like, and I can tell you right now, it's a baggage handler that went through it. And I'm like, airports are one of the most secure places in the world. You have cameras everywhere. Go look on the camera for who went through my bag. And the unions for the baggage handlers have it written in that there's no cameras where they're handling it.
Wow.
And it's so they can have theft. Now, to make a long story, not terribly long, so I actually found my cameras on eBay. And I knew they were mine because my wife had sewn custom straps for them with custom patterns. So they so I saw them show up on eBay in Los Angeles.
Oh.
So I'm like, so LAX baggage handlers stole my stuff, took it to a pawn shop, sold it to a pawn shop, and the pawn shop was selling it within less than the 30 to 60 days that they have to hold something before they could sell it. I said, so who this pawn shop is also in bed with this. So I gave all of this information to LAPD. This is long before AirTags, just so you guys know. I gave all the information to LAPD, and they said, well, you can't really do anything about it. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't do anything about it? We can't do anything. My insurance at home paid for me to get new cameras. So I get new cameras. And then I tell my insurance agent, like, well, hey, my cameras, like, they're on eBay. They're right here. Winnipeg police will do nothing. LAPD will do nothing. And I'm like, so, like, what do I do? And, like, for me, the video camera had video from my daughter's first birthday. I, like an idiot, didn't back it up because I was like, nothing's going to happen, right? So anyway, in the long run, I bought back both of the cameras from the people who stole them from me on eBay to get the videos back.
Oh, you bought the footage.
Yes. Well, and the crazy thing was, so I bought the DSLR that I had. I bought it back and had it shipped to Canada, and it worked out. The video camera, I had a friend of mine from Florida buy it. And when he got it, he opened it up and I had said, like, hey, man, I'll send it for, like, recovery, like, and hopefully we can get some of the video back. He opened it up and sends me a message and says, he's like, you know what? He's like, don't worry about sending it for recovery. He's like, much to my surprise, he's like, I opened up this thing. The first thing I see is this cute little girl and then your ugly mug. He's like, so all your videos are here. He's like, I'm going to back them all up on a hard drive so you have it separate. So he sent everything back to me. And then you just kind of hope that, at the end, I called my insurance agent and I'm like, what do I do? Because, like, I now am in possession of 2 things that have been reported stolen. And they're like, well, did you steal them? I'm like, no. You have the police reports, you have everything. And I have the receipts to show I bought them off eBay. And they were like, okay, well, yeah, well, they're yours now then. And I'm like, you're not concerned about this? Like, they're like, this is a headache. Like, just, and I'm like, okay. So the lesson in the end is that the police won't do anything in situations like this because they don't give a shit about it. And then secondly is that you just hope that karma's real and that guy gets cancer for stealing shit from other people.
Yeah.
Maybe not cancer, but maybe something real bad, like, I don't know, lose a finger or something, trying to steal something.
Yeah. Don't steal. Don't steal kids.
Don't steal guitars. Don't steal anything. You know what? Like, and like, it's always the like it's always the nicest people, excluding me. It's always the nicest people that get their shit stolen. Like, John is one of the nicest guys, and Sully is not a big company, right? Like, you're stealing from somebody who, like, that losing that guitar will hurt Sully's business badly. Yeah. Like, not a little bit. It'll hurt him badly.
Yeah, pretty bad.
So if you guys are looking for guitars, like, go buy something from Sully if you're looking for if you're looking for something, because I love getting things and buying things from people that I think are great people. And
I got a couple of Sullys over there.
Yeah. He's the best.
They're great guitars and really nice, dude. And what kills me is that was the guitar that he was most proud of for the NAMM show. Yeah. He literally sent me every other pic of the guitars that he showed except for that one because he wanted me to see it in person. It's like, come on.
Yeah. This is one of the things, like, I'm here right now because we drove down here. I drive to NAMM almost every year. It is between 30 and 40 hours. This year, it was horrible time driving. I mean, let me rephrase that. Bo and Luke and I had a blast coming down here. We didn't love sleeping in the truck 2 nights because we couldn't either find hotels or just timing didn't work out for us to be able to stop. Like, by the time we would get to a hotel, it'd be 4:30 in the morning, and we'd have to leave at 8.
Oh no!
And it's like, well, we're not spending $500
doesn't make sense
for hotel rooms for 3.5 hours. But a big part of why we drive is because I am paranoid about our stuff making it. And I'm like, if it's coming close to the event, like it's the thing of nightmares where you're like, oh, like I ship my stuff in and they damage the shipment with like these prototype heads. I mean, Marshall, the biggest amp company in our industry, they didn't have their amps, like the modern Marshalls. Oh. They didn't have some of them for the show because they forgot to ship them. They had to buy seats on a plane and fly them to the show from the UK.
Wow.
Like those are the things that like I mean, number one would never happen at Rev because I would never let something get to that point. Right. But like those are the things that nightmares are made of, where you're like,
yeah, or but Sully used to drive down.
Yeah,
he and Adam would rent a minivan and stuff it full of guitars and drive down.
Yeah, and I should back up. I'm not criticizing John for not driving. I'm saying
no, I'm just saying
the reason that I've always driven is that I get so paranoid about that stuff. And then you like something like this happens to Sully and I'm like, we're sending the truck every year. Like maybe I won't drive it next year, but
every year
it's coming.
There's also a year when remember Dover amps?
Yeah, their stuff didn't make it.
Yeah, their stuff didn't make it. So
yep.
Yeah.
They're like shipping companies are, not always reliable. Yeah. And like
a little bit of a gamble.
Well, and like it's the biggest show like that happens every year. Like it's the biggest event for our industry. And I can't imagine if your booth Walrus Audio this year, Walrus did not have their booth, like anything for their booth. Their crates and that they shipped in, they could not find it till the day before the show. So they were there on Monday to set up, and none of the Walrus stuff showed up until Wednesday, and then they scrambled to build their whole booth.
Oh,
and they couldn't find it. They put the wrong stickers on it, and it ended up being at the convention center, luckily, but it could have been at like a warehouse somewhere else, and they had no idea.
Yeah. There's I think it was last year or the year before, Huber had to drive to wherever UPS was holding all their stuff to retrieve it because it didn't arrive in time.
We've had to do that for RSTDs 2 out of like 3 or 4 years that we've worked with them, where like they'll ship it in and it gets held by customs or it gets held by someone. This year it was in early enough, but we had them ship it. Like Schecter and us have a fantastic relationship. So I had asked Adam over at Schecter, like, hey, are you okay? Like RSTDs is sharing space with us.
Right.
You could call them a competitor of yours because they build guitars. I'm like, but they're not.
Yeah.
They do something completely different than what you do. I'm like, are you cool if we send their pallet to you guys? And they like Schecter was like, yeah, no problem. Like send it over here.
Yeah.
So this year, RCD sent everything way early, right?
Okay.
To make sure everything was good. But then Los Angeles was on fire. So Schecter was evacuated for I think a couple of days. And so like FedEx is calling being like, so we have this shipment, but like we think we should reroute it, or I think our studio is actually asking to have it rerouted. And I'm like, don't do anything. I'm like, we have like when this was all happening, we had like 5 or 6 days till they needed to be there. And I was just like just wait. I called Adam. I'm like, are you guys not like, are you evacuated? He's like, nah. He's like, we were for like a day or two, but we're back working. And I'm like, so I can have this pallet brought there? He's like, yeah. So I called FedEx back. I'm like, please just send it to where it was going. But yeah, we've definitely had it where it was like, the day before the show. I think one year some guitars didn't show up till day 2. Like we got one pallet and then the next day. And like they flew over here from Europe and all of their stuff, like coming into the first day wasn't there. And they actually had some people that are like super fans that have like 10 of them that live in like San Francisco area. And they drove down with their guitars so that they had guitars to hang on the wall just in case.
Nice.
And like, and then the pallet showed up and it was fine. But like, yeah, like it's things like that I'm just like, and most companies, including Friedman, I'm pretty sure, like the new stuff that you have at NAMM, it's not like it's done 4 months in advance. It's done like 4 days in advance.
Yeah, a lot of it is like dot wire.
The revision cabinets were done 2 weeks before we left, maybe. And like the other things that Perf knows about that weren't in the room, one of them I was finishing the night before we left.
Yes.
Yeah. So like there's lots of things that happens.
Right,
and
right.
you know, and people don't realize like, you know, that's how that goes. And like the show is, you know, you spend so much money. I don't know how much John spends to be in the boutique guitar showcase. I'm sure it's not cheap.
But it's not like it's a lot less than having its own booth. Because he used to have his own booth.
Yeah, like for us, if you include the Airbnb and bringing people down and everything, and we're smart about how we do NAMM compared to a lot of companies. We do a lot of things, like my brother making sandwiches, right? Like to make sure that we're not spending money we don't need to. And I'm sure when I total up this year, it's still going to be between $50,000 and $60,000. Yeah, got to sell a lot of amps and pedals to make up 50, 60 grand at NAMM. And when you're small and you're starting out, it makes sense because you're building those relationships, and like that's, you know, you're making an investment in that. But you know, the bigger you get, the more it's like, well, do we need to have this big booth, or do I just need a meeting room? Because
that's basically what Fender and Gibson did.
Yes,
all invite only, and it's, you know, just a big meeting room.
Yeah,
you know, ESP and Engel this year too. They it's just by appointment.
Two Notes did the same thing. And I mean, I don't love that because I do love the fact that, you know, any of the public that get into the show, they get a chance to see anything at the show. I mean, that's how you get to engage with your customer and get them to check out. And actually, you know, there's so many people, you know, I'm sure there's nowhere in Southern California right now that there's a Generator 120 in stock that you can go play.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that there's no store that has it. So if you get a chance to get into NAMM, you can come play that at our booth,
right,
and see what you think, right? Where if I just had a meeting room, then you have no experience with Rev, you know? You can come see what morons we are. So, you know, so yeah. Yeah, anyway, anybody have any quick questions? Because we're already like past our time, and do we have a reservation? Or?
No, they don't do reservations, so we go there and hope for the best.
Okay. So
wait, hold on. I need to play this guitar.
Oh yes,
Robert Bacon. If he's still around.
Robert Bacon.
Robert Bacon, bro.
My kids call him Robert Bacon.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't say his name properly, and then now that's what he is in my phone. Robert Bacon. Oh yeah, the gem, the floral gem.
Yeah. The white whale.
Yeah, remember when Ben was trying to get one of those, and we were looking at them at the Dallas Guitar Show, and they were like $8,000 and $10,000.
And then
he got one for a way better deal, but like it was still.
It's not but it's the later years.
Okay,
it's like a late 90s, I think.
Gotcha.
The reissue, but remember the Universe swirls?
Yeah,
where you can barely see them, and then there were like 3 in the show.
Yep,
18 grand each.
Ooh, yeah. Nice, very nice. Yeah, Baker did have a board done by Brian O'Million. I actually worked with Rob and Brian on that a long time ago. And yeah, Brian's a great pedal builder, or like pedal board builder. So
is he in Nashville?
He's Dallas.
Yeah.
Guitar Sanctuary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Nice.
All right. Well,
let's see.
Did Luke shave his coffee stain? Oh, buds, no, it's, oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Awesome. I saw that's a great idea. Brian's, yeah.
I've gone to Brian multiple times for asking about like, okay, what type of plug should I be using? Like, yeah, what should we do? It's my mic here.
Oh yeah. Not guitars. Hey, great meeting you too.
All right.
There you go.
With that.
Okay, with that.
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Luke and I should be back home by next Wednesday, so we'll be back to I don't know if Sam's around. Sam's on tour right now. I got to double check his schedule, but yeah. we'll get back to the regular schedule.
He's gonna get a lot of photos and video text in a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna be out. Yep.
Sam, you chose poorly.
Yep. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out, Perf.
Oh,
and letting us use your house and all your stuff.
Thanks for stopping by. This is a proof of concept, and I know how it works now.